go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Okay, listen, starting out in Raid Shadow Legends is wild, right? Like, the hardest thing for me wasn't even the bosses or grinding. It was figuring out which champions were actually good and which ones were just food. Bro, I literally fed away some champs that now I look back at and I'm like, wow, I was actually dumb for doing that. While I was building up my Kale to be my very first level 60 champ, I had to make some random calls, throwing in rares, hoping I wasn't trashing anything valuable. And yeah, I totally trashed some fire champions without even realizing it. So today, we're fixing that problem, together. We're ranking the top 10 rare champions that you absolutely want to hold on to if you get them. And just so you know, today's video is covering 10 through 6, but if you want the top 5, I already dropped that in the last video. Stick around and boom, you've got the complete top 10 list right here. Easy. Oh, and quick side note, if you're brand new, or you're even thinking of starting Raid right now, yo, this is literally the perfect time. If you download through my link, you're starting with a team that's just insane. 3 legendary champions right off the bat. Michelangelo from the 7-day login, Elenaril as your sign-up legendary, and if you punch in that promo code Demon Slayer, you get Tholen Fallbeard plus some crazy good epics on top. That's like a dream start, bro. Even if you make mistakes like I did, you'll still be ahead of the curve because you've got those beasts carrying you. All right, enough talk. Let's get into it. Here are the top 10 rare champions in Raid Shadow Legends that are 100% worth keeping if you pull them. All right, kicking off this list at number 10, we've got my guy Gnarlhorn. And listen, don't let this dude's name fool you. He might sound like some farm animal with anger issues, but in Raid Shadow Legends, this bull is an absolute crowd control machine. Here's the deal. Gnarlhorn has one of the best AoE provokes in the entire rare category. We're talking 100% chance to provoke on a 3-turn cooldown. That's crazy. You throw him in against waves, and suddenly the enemies aren't doing their flashy moves anymore. They're all too busy swinging at this angry goat man instead of your squishier champs. And let's be real, sometimes you just need someone who's willing to stand there and say, yeah, hit me, bro. All of you at once. That's Gnarlhorn. Absolute tanky bodyguard energy. Where does he shine? Pretty much anywhere you need crowd control. Doom Tower waves, he's locking them down. Faction wars, he's saving your weaker champs from getting clapped. Hydra, believe it or not, he even puts in work there by keeping the heads provoked so your team doesn't get nuked. Now, is he flashy? Nah, he's not dropping nukes. He's not out-damaging your Kale or your Elhain. But that's the thing, he doesn't need to. Gnarlhorn is that reliable dude who shows up, does the dirty work, and keeps your team alive while your damage dealers shine. Every team needs a guy like that. So yeah, if you pull him, don't sleep on him. He's not food. He's not a bench warmer. This angry bull is one of the most valuable rares for crowd control, and that's why he kicks off our list at number 10. Number 9, Paragon. All right, sliding in at number 9, we've got Paragon, aka the King of Cheese, the Master of Frustration, and the champ that made me question if Raid even playtests their rares sometimes. So here's the deal. Paragon's got this permanent unkillable setup. His skill lasts 2 turns with a 2-turn cooldown. Do the math. Yeah, that means he can literally keep unkillable up forever. Infinite, permanent, never dying. It's like having God mode turned on, but legit. And what does that mean for you? It means Paragon can literally carry you through stuff that should be impossible. We're talking Nightmare Campaign cheese runs, stalling out Doom Tower bosses, and beating content that your account has no business beating at that stage. He's like the loophole champ. Raid probably thought, oh, nobody will actually abuse this, but guess what? We do, every single time. Now, there's a catch. You can't just throw him in naked and expect miracles. For Doom Tower bosses especially, you'll want to gear him smart. Poison set, deflection set, or grab War Master Mastery so he actually does damage over time. Otherwise, yeah, he'll survive forever. But you'll run out of turns, quit the run, and rage. Been there. Don't recommend. But here's the part I gotta roast. Please, please don't be that person who throws Paragon as a solo defense in Arena. That's not strategy. That's just evil. All you're doing is forcing people to waste 5 minutes of their life slowly chipping away at an immortal mosquito. Don't be that guy. Nobody likes that guy. Bottom line, Paragon is absolutely busted for cheese strategies, can carry you through content you shouldn't be able to touch, and he's one of those rares you'll always be glad you kept around. Just don't use him to troll the arena, or I will personally send Gnarlhorn to your account to deal with you. Number 8. Reliquary Tender. Okay, sitting pretty at number 8, we've got Reliquary Tender, and let me tell you, this champ is way better than she looks. Like, you pull her and at first you're thinking, support rare, whatever. But the moment you start running into nasty bosses like Nether Spider, you'll be begging her to carry you. Here's why. Full team cleanse on a 3-turn cooldown. That's huge. Drop her into a fight and suddenly all those poisons, stuns, freezes, whatever garbage the enemy is throwing at you, gone. And she doesn't just cleanse, she also throws out continuous heals. So not only is your team clean, they're also topping back up at the same time. That combo is so good for faction wars, Doom Tower waves, and especially the Nether Spider, who loves spamming poison stacks like it's going out of style. And here's the sneaky part a lot of people forget. She's got a revive. Yeah, it's not the strongest revive in the world, and it's not going to save you in high-end content forever. But when you're a newer player and one of your damage dealers gets folded, having that emergency button to bring them back can literally save a run. Now, don't get me wrong, she's not some flashy nuke machine, she's not going to solo bosses or drop 6-digit crits. That's not her job. Reliquary Tender is basically your team's medic. She shows up, cleans up the mess, patches everyone back together, and says, "All right, go do your thing again." And honestly, that role is more valuable than half the damage champs you'll pull early game. So yeah, if you pull her, don't sleep on her. Don't throw her away thinking, I'll get a better cleanser later. Nope. This elf right here can carry you through fights you had no business winning. That's why she earns the number 8 spot. Number 7. Soulbond Bowyer. At number 7, we've got Soulbond Bowyer, and honestly, this champ is way better than her rarity suggests. Like, when you pull her, you're not going to scream with excitement like you just hit a legendary, but trust me, give her a chance, and she'll end up saving your account more times than you expect. So let's start with the big one. 100% turn meter reduction on a 4-turn cooldown. Do you know how busted that is for bosses like Spider and Fire Knight? That's literally the difference between I win and oh no, everyone's dead. Fire Knight especially, his shield mechanic is a nightmare, but Soulbond Bowyer can straight up shut him down by keeping his turn meter at 0. She's basically saying, nah bro, you don't get to play today. And then there's her AoE A1. Yes, an AoE on her basic attack. That means every swing she takes can slap multiple enemies at once. Early on, that's insane for farming campaign or dealing with waves in dungeons. Later in the game, it gets even better. Throw her in a stun set, and suddenly, every A1 is a chance to lock down an entire wave. That's exactly why she keeps her value way into late game, especially for Doom Tower secret rooms. Now, to keep it real, she's not perfect. Her damage isn't game-breaking, her kit doesn't scream legendary power, and without the right gear, she's kinda average. But in the right spots, she's a boss killer. Straight up. She's like that friend who's chill most of the time, but the second you're in trouble, she pulls out some crazy hidden skill and saves the day. So yeah, Soulbond Bowyer is absolutely worth keeping, building, and slapping some gear on. She's not food. She's not filler. She's one of those rares that continues to shine even as your account grows, and that's why she locks in the number 7 spot. Number 6, War Maiden. Alright, taking the number 6 spot, we've got War Maiden. And yo, if you've played Raid for more than 5 minutes, you've probably already heard her name. And that's because she brings one of the most important debuffs in the entire game. I'm talking about that 100% AoE decrease defense on a 3-turn cooldown. And trust me, this skill is everything. Like, you can have the strongest nuker in the world, but if you don't have decreased defense on the enemy, your big shiny crits are basically tickle damage. War Maiden walks in, slaps that debuff on everyone, and suddenly your Kale, your starter nuker, your whole squad is deleting waves like they're nothing. She makes everyone else look better. And the best part? She's farmable. You don't have to pray to RNGesus to bless you with her. You can literally grind her out from campaign. That means she's easy to get, easy to book, and you can max her skills without feeling like you're throwing away resources. Honestly, she's probably the most beginner-friendly rare in the game because anyone can grab her with just a little effort. Now, let's keep it real. War Maiden isn't going to carry you into endgame Doom Tower or late Hydra. She's not some secret god-tier champ. But for early to mid-game progression, she's basically mandatory. She's that champ you build, gear up, and lean on until you finally pull a Legendary or Epic that does the same job, and even then, she still feels solid. So yeah, War Maiden deserves the number 6 spot all day. She's simple, reliable, and she's out here teaching new players the most important lesson in Raid. Always bring decreased defense. And that's our list from 10 down to 6. Solid rares that can absolutely carry your account if you know how to use them. But hey, we're not done yet, because now we're stepping right into the top 5 rare champions in Raid Shadow Legends. If you've already watched my last video, you know exactly who's coming and why they're such beasts. But if this is your first time tuning in, don't worry. This video ties it all together, so you'll have the full top 10 rares list in one place. So let's keep it rolling. Here are the top 5 rare champions that every player should be looking out for. Number 5, Prosecutor. Coming in at number 5, we've got a rare that doesn't always get the spotlight, but definitely deserves it. Prosecutor. Now, let me tell you why this champ is actually rated pretty high by a lot of players. First off, Prosecutor is literally the only rare champion in the game with an AoE decreased speed debuff at 30%. That's huge, because slowing down an entire enemy team or a dungeon boss is game-changing. The only catch? It's not guaranteed. It's a 75% chance to land. But hey, if you build the right masteries, you can push it up to 80%, which makes it way more reliable. Still not perfect, but when it lands, oh boy, it's nasty. Next up, the triple hit A3 with heal reduction. This is what makes Prosecutor a complete beast in Fire Knight's castle. Why? Because Fire Knight is all about breaking down that shield, and triple hitters just rip right through it. Add in the heal reduction, and suddenly you're shutting down his healing at the same time. That's 2 birds with 1 stone. But it doesn't stop there. Her double hit A1 comes with turn meter reduction, and that's clutch not only for Fire Knight, but also in fights like Spider and Dark Fae. Controlling turn meter basically means you're controlling the pace of the entire battle, and Prosecutor brings that in spades. What's cool is that she actually plays very similarly to the starter champions, Kael, Elhain, Athel, Galek. But the difference is that she's spirit affinity. And that spirit typing gives her a niche in certain fights where the starter champs struggle. So while she's not going to carry you everywhere, Prosecutor is one of those sneaky rares that can absolutely clutch some big battles if you invest in her. That's why the community rates her higher than you might expect. Not because she's the flashiest, but because she brings a rare mix of abilities that just work in some of the hardest content early on. Number 4, Apothecary. Sliding into number 4, we've got a champ that honestly every beginner should get excited about, Apothecary. This dude is basically the definition of support MVP in the rare pool. Why? Because he's the only rare champion that can throw out a team-wide 30% increased speed buff and fill your turn meter at the same time. That combo right there is insane for progression. Speed is literally the most important stat in Raid. The faster your team takes turns, the more control you have, and the more times you smack the enemy before they even get to react. Apothecary makes sure your squad is always running laps around the opponent. On top of that, he's packing a great single target heal. And not just a little tick of health, it's a strong, reliable heal that can save your carry champion in tough fights. If your Kael or Elhain is about to drop, Apothecary swoops in and keeps them alive long enough to finish the job. That kind of clutch healing is why so many players swear by him early on. And his base stats? Surprisingly solid for a support. He's not just there to buff and heal. He can actually take a few hits without instantly folding, which makes him even more reliable in longer fights. But here's the kicker. His A1 is a triple hitter. And if you know anything about Fire Knight's castle, you already know where I'm going with this. Fire Knight's shield is all about landing multiple hits as fast as possible, and Apothecary brings that utility right on his basic attack. That means while he's boosting your speed and healing your team, he's also actively helping you break down that shield. Absolute game changer. So yeah, Apothecary isn't just some background healer. He's one of those rares that can literally carry your account through the early and mid-game if you build him right. That's why the community holds him in such high regard. Number 3, Painkeeper. Alright, cracking into the top 3, we've got one of the sneakiest powerhouse rares in the game, Painkeeper. Now, at first glance, she might not look like much, but trust me, this champ has some absolutely busted utility that makes her a favorite for tons of players. The biggest thing? She's got an ability that reduces all ally cooldowns by 1 turn. Yeah, you heard that right. Everybody on your team gets their skills back faster. And in a game like Raid, where timing is everything, that's huge. This is vital in certain setups, especially for things like Clan Boss and Iron Twins teams that rely on super tight speed tuning. If you've ever tried to put together a comp where every single turn matters, Painkeeper is basically the glue that holds it together. She keeps your rotation smooth, your key abilities cycling, and your damage flowing non-stop. But it's not just about cooldown reduction. She's also a solid healer. And for early progression, that's a lifesaver. You're going to be going into dungeons and campaign fights where your champs take heavy damage, and having Painkeeper there to top everybody back up makes those runs way smoother. She gives you both survivability and utility at the same time, which is rare to find in one champion. So, yeah, Painkeeper might not look flashy like some big damage dealer, but the community rates her so high because of how much she enables your team. Whether it's making your Clan Boss squad hit those longer runs or keeping your early game roster alive through tough fights, she's one of those rares that just puts in work way beyond her rank. Number 2, Renegade. Alright, locking in at number 2, we've got the queen of cooldown resets herself, Renegade. This champ is straight up legendary level when it comes to what she brings to the table. Why? Because she's hands down the best rare reset champion in the entire game. Her ability reduces all ally cooldowns by 2 turns. 2. That might not sound like much if you're new, but in practice, that's absolutely busted. It basically means your team gets to fire off their big nukes and clutch abilities way more often. Here's the crazy part. If you're looking for an upgrade from her, you can't even settle for an epic. Nope. You literally have to pull top-tier legendaries like Prince Kaimar or Yumeko to get something better. That's how good Renegade is. She's sitting in rare rank, but she's operating at the same level as some of the most sought-after legendaries in the game. Talk about punching above your weight. And the reason players rate her so highly is because she's essential for speed farming. Whether you're clearing dungeons for gear or blasting through Doom Tower stages, having Renegade on your team means you're cycling through skills at light speed. Your nukers get to nuke more, your debuffers keep control rolling, and your runs get faster and more consistent. So yeah, Renegade is one of those champions where, if you pull her, you don't just feed her away. You build her. You keep her. Because she's got one of the strongest and most unique abilities in the entire rare category. And that's why the community has her rated this high. Number 1, Coldheart. And finally, sitting at the top of the mountain, the undisputed champ of the rare tier, Coldheart. No debate, no arguments. She is unquestionably the best rare in the entire game. If you pull a Coldheart, you stop what you're doing, you build her, and you never, ever regret it. That's how valuable she is. Here's why. Her A3 is absolutely busted. It smacks with enemy max HP damage, which means it doesn't care how stacked the boss is. It just rips a chunk right out of their health bar. And on top of that, it comes with a 100% turn meter depletion. That combo is so deadly that it makes her the MVP for killing bosses in pretty much every dungeon and even the Doom Tower. Doesn't matter how tanky they are, Coldheart cuts them down to size. But she's not just about one ability. Her A1 is a 4-hitter. And if you've been paying attention, you already know what that means. Fire Knight's shield? Yeah, it hates Coldheart. 4 hits in one go, plus her massive A3, and suddenly one of the hardest bosses in the game feels way easier. Same deal with Spider. Her kit makes those fights so much smoother, and honestly, she becomes one of your most reliable boss killers across the board. That's why the entire raid community puts so much respect on her name. She's not just good for a rare, she's good, period. She outperforms tons of epics and even some legendaries when it comes to boss fights. So yeah, Coldheart is the definition of a game changer. If you're lucky enough to pull her, congrats, you've just got yourself the #1 rare champion in Raid Shadow Legends. And there you have it. That's the full list of the top 10 rare champions in Raid Shadow Legends that you absolutely don't want to sleep on. Some of these champs might not look flashy at first, but trust me, they'll carry you way further than you expect. Now, if you're watching this and you haven't jumped into Raid yet, or maybe you're thinking about starting fresh, this is the perfect time. Hit the link down in the description, download Raid Shadow Legends, and you'll get those insane starter rewards we talked about. 3 legendary champions, plus some powerful epics to stack your roster right from day one. That way, you're not just starting the game, you're starting strong. So, yeah, build smart, don't feed the wrong champs like I did, and let's keep grinding. Catch you guys in the next one.